I know that AMN specifically provides an amazing platform, and I know we've got a new platform launching. Let's talk a
We
little
do.
bit about our new platform, Televate. I
Yes.
was actually part of a focus group that got to do some playing around on it and all of the things that it offers. Tell me about Televate. What is that?
Right. So, I joined AMN just last August, so I'm coming up on almost a year with the company, which has been amazing. But I, prior to that, had worked in teletherapy for 10 years before that. So I really came in with the belief that a very intentionally built therapy platform
Mm-hmm.
is an essential piece of that quality therapy. Now, does that make the therapist a better therapist? No, the therapist is a great therapist. They are they are a great SLP. They have that experience regardless of what
Right.
platform. But does it make it easier for that therapist to do their job? Absolutely. And it also has the features, when we're doing teletherapy, we are trying to create a teletherapy session that is as close as possible to when we're sitting in the same room as our students, right?
Right.
We want to make that as close as possible. And that does require clinical tools. And so it's really important to have a platform that is built with a clinical therapy environment, not just a business, not a meeting with just like a business meeting. It's about kids. It's about, okay, what are the tools that we need to ensure that we are able to do our job, do what we know how to do, that kids are engaged. So Televate we are very excited to be launching for this upcoming school year. And so it includes both case management functionality. As a teletherapist, it's so nice to, as much as possible, have kind of that one-stop shop, like have as many things as possible within
Every
one,
everything
because
in one place, so you're not
everything in
clicking
one
around
place
all over the place.
as much
Yeah.
as possible. So
Hmm.
there's the ability to um, upload student referrals, add IEP goals, track data, get graphs from progress that you can share with parents and teachers at IEP meetings. Create your schedule, reoccurring meetings, track absences, so that you have an idea of, the kids that student who has, they've missed 3 in a row. And so there's the case management side, but then of course, most importantly, there is the therapy room. It is having a therapy room where you have tools, features like making sure that, kids there needs to be integrated access. They need to be able to connect and have interaction with the activities on the screen. We don't want them just coming to a session and just watching you and just looking at something. They need to
Right.
be able to interact with that activity and be engaged in that. And, a lot of business platforms don't have that, or there's a lot of workarounds to try to get there. Um, again, another feature that was really important to me was the ability to integrate a second camera, a document camera. That is essential for psychoeducational evaluations because of the way that those assessments have to be delivered. But
Right.
also for OT services, being able for that OT to be able to see what the student is doing in real time with their fine motor movements, but also not losing the student's face. If we're there in the room with our student, we can see their face, we see their reactions, and also what they're doing with their hands, right? We can see all
Right.
of that. And if you don't have that second camera integration, then you're having to do something weird with the main camera up and down to like look at that.
Right.
And for SLPs, it can be a really incredible tool to have that when you're working with students with AAC devices. If you
Right.
have that second camera to integrate, the student does, then you have that second video feed. If I have Cough Drop app on my iPad, I can have that second camera trained over my iPad. The student has theirs up. And so I'm seeing the student's face. I'm not losing that in order to see what's happening on their device and what the interface looks like and how they're interacting with that. So there's these little things that, to a non-clinician may just
Right.
seem like, well, what's the big deal? As long as you have audio and video, it is a big deal. It's a big deal as clinicians to be able to, and have all these things and also not have to to be able to have features without having to use 3 other systems, right? Like having to do kind of weird
Right.
things with like this screen share, and I'm going to put this extra camera over here.
Right.
SLPs are some of the most creative, and like they will get it done. They will figure it
Yeah.
out, but it doesn't have to be so hard. So,
Right.
so really excited to launch that this school year. And yeah, just, I feel like we need to have a high quality platform for teletherapy. And that's really what it's been built around, is specifically working with kids, engaging in teletherapy services.